What if a school bully targeted the wrong person? A girl with a hidden tie so strong it could flip the world upside down. This gripping tale follows Lena Harper, a reserved 15-year-old freshman, who catches the eye of Trent Dawson, the school's most notorious senior. He sees her as timid, an easy mark, but he's clueless about her secret, a game-changer that'll flip the script in shocking ways. Stick around, because what starts with a bully's swagger ends with his ruin. Lena Harper climbed off the bus, clutching her backpack straps tight. She gazed up at the towering entrance of Ridgeview High in Houston, Texas. The cool fall breeze mixed with the smell of trimmed lawns and sun-warmed asphalt. Groups of students chattered and laughed, their voices swirling around her, but Lena felt detached. This was her third school switch in 2 years, not for family jobs but for clean slates. She'd learned to adapt, to fade into the background. Keeping her eyes low, she shuffled toward the doors, hoping to go unnoticed as whispers trailed the new kid. A few heads turned, sizing up the unfamiliar face, but Lena dodged their stares. Ridgeview High was typical, sprawling, suburban, packed with middle-class teens who'd grown up together. The basketball team was solid, the pep squad had clout, and the pecking order was set in stone long before she arrived. None of that fazed her. She had one mission: stay off the radar. Inside, the halls hummed with life, lockers clanged, shoes squeaked on tiles, and teachers barked orders before the bell. Lena pressed forward, schedule in hand. She'd mastered this drill, locating her locker, scoping out lunch spots, and spotting trouble to avoid. That's when she noticed Trent Dawson. Tall, muscular, with the cocky ease only the top dogs flaunted, he lounged against a locker bank, circled by varsity jacket-wearing buddies. They roared at his latest quip. Even from afar, Lena sensed his dominance, an aura that bent others to his will. She'd crossed paths with his kind before, the charming, ruthless type who ruled through fear. She planned to steer clear. Trent was the school's golden boy, star point guard, sharp features, loaded parents. But there was more: the way his crew laughed too loud, their uneasy shuffles when he spoke. Lena knew the signs. He fed on control, on making others squirm. She didn't want his spotlight, but trouble had a way of finding her. As she passed, someone jostled her shoulder, deliberate. Her books hit the floor, papers scattering. Snickers erupted. She knelt fast, cheeks hot, praying it'd blow over. Then she heard him. "Well, look at this," Trent drawled, voice smooth but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. His pals chuckled as Lena stiffened. She didn't need to see him to know who loomed above. Ignoring him, she scooped up her stuff and stood, brushing past. "Hey, no manners, huh?" he called louder, drawing eyes. "I'm talking to you, newbie." Lena kept moving. She'd danced this dance before, silence was her shield. But Trent didn't like being dismissed. His pride wouldn't let it slide that easily. She felt a yank on her backpack, not hard, just enough to say he wasn't done. Lena halted, turning slow. The hall quieted, onlookers perking up. She locked eyes with Trent, his smirk faltering for a split second. Surprise, maybe? He crossed his arms. "You shouldn't have ignored me," she said, voice low but steady. He barked a laugh, slow and taunting. "Oh yeah? Why's that, princess?" She didn't bite, just stared him down. His grin twitched. "You're odd, you know that?" His crew sniggered. Lena walked off. She knew he wasn't finished. Guys like Trent thrived on the chase. The day dragged on. Lena stuck to the edges, answering teachers curtly, avoiding gazes. At lunch, she found a corner table, watching Trent's squad dominate the cafeteria's heart. They owned it, loud and carefree, his eyes occasionally flicking her way. He didn't move yet, but she felt the storm brewing. By dismissal, the Houston heat still baked the pavement as she headed for the bus stop, relieved to escape. Then she heard him again. "Hey, fresh meat." Lena turned. Trent sauntered up, hands in pockets, that smug grin plastered on. A couple of his buddies hung back, waiting. She sighed. "What now?" He stepped closer. "You've got a mouth on you, huh? Think you're too good for me?" Lena let out a dry chuckle, not scared, just entertained. That threw him. "No," she said, slow and deliberate. "I just think you should back off." His grin slipped, then snapped back. "And why would I do that?" he sneered, looming over her. Lena tilted her head, voice dropping. "Because you don't know me." Trent laughed, shaking it off. "What's there to know?" She stepped back, pulled out her phone, and tapped once. A deep rumble cut the air. A sleek black Mustang roared up, sleek and menacing. The window slid down, revealing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Trent's jaw dropped. Lena smirked, first time all day. "Still think I'm odd?" Trent gaped, speechless. For once, the king of Ridgeview High shrank, and Lena savored every second of it. Dwayne's presence hit like a sledgehammer. Trent's cockiness melted, his eyes darting between Lena and the muscle-bound legend in the driver's seat. His crew shifted, uneasy. Lena adjusted her bag, calm as ever. Dwayne didn't speak, just stared Trent down, one hand on the wheel, radiating quiet power. Trent swallowed hard. "Hold up," he mumbled, voice cracking. He squinted at Lena, like he'd missed something huge. "Still think I'm nobody?" she asked, cool as ice. His throat bobbed, words failing him. The crowd thickened, whispering. "Get in, kid," Dwayne said, low and firm. Lena didn't pause, brushed past Trent, past the stunned onlookers, and slid into the Mustang. The engine growled as they peeled out, leaving Trent rooted, his kingdom shaken. Houston's streets blurred by, the late sun painting the dash in warm hues. Lena tapped her knee, exhaling tension. Dwayne glanced over. "You good?" She nodded, then smirked. "Bit over the top, huh?" He grinned, that iconic half-smile. "Maybe." She laughed softly, staring out. "Didn't plan it that way." Dwayne shot her a look. "What's the better play? Letting that jerk stomp all over you?" Lena leaned back. "I wasn't gonna let him. Just waiting." He raised a brow. "For what?" She shrugged. "The perfect shot." He chuckled, low and warm. "You're starting to sound like me at 15. Lena grinned. "That's terrifying." Dwayne laughed outright, shaking his head. "Little punk." They settled into easy quiet, the day's weight lifting. But Lena knew Trent wouldn't quit. Fear could twist into something uglier fast. They pulled into a sharp, modern house in a hushed Houston suburb. Lena unbuckled but lingered. Dwayne noticed. "What's up?" She hesitated. "He's not backing off." He studied her, steady. "No, but you're not either, right?" She met his eyes. "You think I should push back?" Dwayne leaned against the wheel. "I think you need to be ready. Guys like him hate losing." Lena nodded slow, chewing that over. Trent Dawson wasn't done picking fights, and she'd have to face him, on her terms, her turf. Next morning, Ridgeview buzzed differently. Lena stepped in, feeling eyes, hundreds of them, tracking her. Whispers snaked through the halls, louder than yesterday. Kids clustered, glancing her way. She caught Trent by the lockers, arms crossed, his posse tighter than ever. No smirk today, just a hard stare. She held it a beat longer than needed, then turned for class. The air crackled. He'd regrouped overnight, plotting. She could hear his crew muttering as she passed, but she didn't flinch. Let him stew. She'd play the long game. By lunch, the vibe shifted again. Lena grabbed her tray, heading for her usual spot, when Jake, one of Trent's meathead pals, stuck out a leg. She stumbled, tray rattling, but caught herself. Laughter erupted from their table. Jake grinned. "No comeback, sweetheart?" Lena straightened, smirking faintly. Didn't know Neanderthals still roamed. A chorus of oohs rippled out. Jake's smile faded. Trent watched, head tilted, sizing her up. She didn't wait, sat down, ate unfazed. But she knew he'd strike harder next. She was ready. After the bell, Lena wasn't shocked to find her locker wrecked, books spilled, marker scrawled across it. She sighed, leaning on the next locker. A few kids gawked, none helping. Trent lingered across the hall, waiting for tears, for weakness. She gave him zilch. Methodically, she stacked her books, shut the door, and walked off. That blankness rattled him more than any outburst. At home, she tapped the kitchen table while Dwayne watched. "They hit my locker," she said. He arched a brow. "That's their big move?" Lena smirked. "So far." Dwayne nodded. "What's yours?" She paused, then grinned. "I'll let him bury himself." He laughed, a deep rumble. "That's my kid." She leaned back, a spark igniting. Trent thought he held the reins, but Lena saw through him. Bullies like him needed reactions, fear, anger, to fuel their game. She'd starve him out, let his own moves unravel him. She'd met his type before, and they always slipped up. Patience was her weapon, and she'd wield it like a pro. Lena knew Trent's playbook. He was all bluster, craving the crowd's gasps to prop up his ego. But strip that away, and he'd falter. She'd seen it. Guys like him weren't untouchable, they just played the part. At school, whispers morphed, less about Dwayne's Mustang, more about Trent's pettiness. The tide was turning, subtle but real. She walked in next day, head high, ignoring the stares. Trent's crew lounged by the lockers, joking loud, until she passed. Their chatter dipped. He glared, itching for her to crack. At lunch, Trent upped the ante. "Hey Lena," he bellowed across the cafeteria, smirking wide. "Still whining about your locker?" Heads turned, the room hushing. She grabbed her tray, unbothered, but he pressed. Guess your tough guy uncle needs to save you again. Snickers broke out, tense glances ping-ponging. Lena faced him, cool as ever. Funny, you're the one who froze when he showed. Silence dropped like a bomb. Trent's face tightened, his crew squirming. She ate, eyes locked on his, daring him to squirm more. Trent forced a laugh, brittle and fake. Think you're hot stuff 'cause your famous uncle rolls up in a flashy car. His voice boomed, desperate to reclaim ground. You're nothing here. Lena tilted her head. I don't need to be anything. You're the one trying too hard. That stung. He flinched, fists flexing, then relaxing fast. She saw it, the tipping point. He'd go bigger, nastier. She strolled to the parking lot later, sensing him lurking. This wasn't over. She'd wait him out, let him dig deeper. Trent's crew glowered from the lockers, a pack of jocks and hangers-on, their stares sharp as knives. He stood center, arms folded, tracking Lena like a hawk. No grin today, just a cold, hard edge. She met his look for a heartbeat, then turned for class, unfazed. Whispers trailed her, their venom palpable. She didn't care. If Trent wanted a war, she'd outlast him. By noon, the stakes climbed. She headed for a table when Jake, the beefy sidekick, tripped her again. Her tray wobbled, but she steadied fast. Jake smirked, all teeth. What, no snappy line, queen? Laughter rolled from their corner. Lena righted her tray, smirking back. Didn't think dinosaurs still talked. The crowd oohed, a ripple of surprise. Jake's grin vanished. Trent watched, head cocked, plotting. She sat, ate, ignored them, but the air thickened. They weren't done. By day's end, her locker was trashed again, books strewn, insults scrawled in bold marker. She sighed, expecting it. Trent loomed nearby, waiting for a flinch. She stacked her stuff, blank-faced, and left him stewing. That blankness gnawed at him, she could tell. His need for a reaction was his weakness, and she'd exploit it. At home, Lena drummed the table while Dwayne leaned on the counter, arms crossed. They hit my locker again, she said, voice flat. He arched a brow. That's all they've got. She smirked. For now. He nodded, slow. Your move? She grinned, sharp. I'll let him sink himself. Dwayne's laugh rumbled deep. Smart kid. Lena settled back, the thrill of control sparking. Trent was playing into her hands. She knew his type, loudmouths who lived for the spotlight, crumbling without it. They needed fear, applause, something to feed their egos. Deny that, and they'd trip over themselves. Next day, she strode into Ridgeview High, chin up. The whispers had shifted, less awe at Dwayne's Mustang, more at Trent's childish stunts. The ground was moving beneath him. His posse lounged by the lockers, cracking jokes, but their voices dipped as she passed. Trent's glare burned, hungry for her to break. She didn't, just kept walking, cool and collected. Lunch brought the next jab. Hey, Lena. Trent's voice boomed across the cafeteria, dripping smugness. Still crying over your locker? The room stilled, eyes darting. She grabbed her tray, unfazed, but he pushed. Maybe your big-shot uncle should fight for you. A few laughed, others tensed. Lena turned, voice steady. Funny, you're the one who choked when he rolled up. Silence crashed down. Trent's jaw locked, his crew shifting. She took a bite, staring him down, letting him simmer in that exposed, raw moment. Trent forced a laugh, tight and hollow. You think you're slick, cause your uncle some celebrity with a fast car? He sneered, loud for the audience. You're nobody. Lena tilted her head. I don't need to be. You're the one scrambling. His eyes flashed, fists clenching then loosening quick. She saw the gears turn, he'd escalate, desperate to reclaim his throne. After school, she paced slow to the lot. Trent leaned on his car, alone this time, staring. She stopped, eyebrow raised. What now? She asked, dry and unimpressed. He exhaled sharp. Just one thing, he said, voice low, no mockery now, just curiosity. Why don't you hit back? Lena paused, then shrugged. Don't need to. He scoffed, shaking his head. That's not how it works, Harper. I push, you push, or you're done. She stepped closer, voice dropping. Or I wait. You keep screwing up, showing everyone how shaky you are. Then you're the one done, no effort from me. Trent stared, jaw tight. Doubt flickered, buried fast under a smirk. You don't get me, he muttered. Lena studied him. Maybe. But I know you're scared. His frame stiffened. I ain't scared of you, he snapped. She smiled cold. Not me. Losing it all, being nothing. That's your nightmare. His nostrils flared, fists balling, but he said nothing. She'd struck deep. You're fighting yourself, Trent, she said, turning away. He had no retort. For once, the king was mute. That night, she swirled her drink while Dwayne watched. Got in his head today, she said. He smirked. Good. He finished? She shook her head. Not yet. Dwayne sat across her. You could end it, call him out, shred in public. You've got the juice. Lena frowned. What do you mean? He leaned in. You've got more pull than you think. One move, he's toast. She thought it over, then shook her head. No. I want him to crash himself. Dwayne grinned wide. Clever girl. She stretched, smirking. Takes time, though. He chuckled. You've got buckets of that. Lena nodded. Trent was fraying. She'd wait him out, let his own desperation topple him. She'd seen it coming. Trent's grip was slipping. She noticed it. His eyes twitched when she entered rooms, his swagger felt forced. His buddies' laughs grew thin, less sure. He'd ruled by fear, but now he was clawing to keep it. The endgame hit 2 days later. Ridgeview buzzed before Lena even walked in. Whispers raced, kids clustered by the lockers. She pushed through, spotting Trent's locker plastered with printouts, texts, posts, every nasty word he'd spewed. Vile stuff, cruel jabs at friends, ugly slurs, fresh timestamps. The crowd gaped, phones out. Trent barreled in, face ashen, eyes wild. What the hell? He barked, voice cracking as he tore at the papers. Too late, everyone saw. Lena leaned on a locker, arms crossed, watching his empire dissolve. His loyal crew edged back, faces sour. Kids he'd mocked stared, betrayed. Others sneered. Trent spun, locking eyes with her, no smirk, just fury. You did this, he growled, low and trembling. She tilted her head. Did I? His fists shook, rage boiling, but he couldn't touch her. She'd won without lifting a finger. He stepped closer, voice a hiss. Think you're so damn clever? This makes you queen. Lena didn't flinch. No, Trent. It just shows who you are. Now they all see. His breath hitched, eyes blazing. She could feel his urge to lash out, to swing, to reclaim something, anything. But he froze. One move, and he'd seal his own fate. Instead, he stormed off, shoving through the crowd, papers fluttering behind. Lena watched calm. His reign was ash, and she'd barely moved a muscle to make it happen. That afternoon, Dwayne leaned on his Mustang outside school, waiting. Lena slid in, exhaling slow. He studied her, a glint in his eye. Done. She nodded. Yeah. He smirked, proud. Not a single swing, huh? She grinned, head back. Didn't have to. He laughed, turning the key. The engine roared as they pulled out, Houston's streets stretching ahead. Trent Dawson was finished, not by her fists, but by his own poison. She'd let him dig, and he'd buried himself deep. Now she could breathe free. The fallout spread fast. By next morning, Trent's name was mud. Kids whispered, some laughed, some scowled, but no one rallied to him. His crew scattered, dodging the stench of his disgrace. Lena walked in, feeling lighter. Eyes still followed, but the weight had shifted. Trent slumped by his wrecked locker, alone, staring at the floor. He didn't look up as she passed. She didn't gloat, just kept moving. He'd built his throne on quicksand, and she'd watched it sink. That was enough. The game was hers. At lunch, the cafeteria buzzed with it. Trent's crash was the only topic. Some pitied him, most didn't. Lena sat solo, tray in front, catching snippets. He had it coming, one kid said. Total clown, another snorted. Trent shuffled in late, head down, no posse. He grabbed food, sat at the edge, ignored. The king was a ghost now. Lena ate, unbothered. She'd predicted this, let him overreach, let him fall. His own words had gutted him, and she'd just waited it out. After school, she lingered in the lot, half expecting him. He didn't show. Instead, a text from Dwayne popped up. Proud of you, kid. She smiled, pocketing her phone. Trent's collapse wasn't her doing, not directly. She'd just held the mirror, let him smash himself against it. His fear of fading, of irrelevance, had driven every dumb move. Now he was living it. Lena headed home, the Houston sun dipping low. She'd outplayed him, quiet and steady, and it felt damn good to win her way. That night, she sprawled at the table, picking at dinner. Dwayne watched, arms crossed. He's toast, huh? She nodded. Pretty much. He grinned. You called it, let him self-destruct. Lena shrugged. Knew he would. Dwayne sat, leaning in. You could have crushed him faster, you know. She met his gaze. Yeah, but this was better. He did it to himself. He nodded, respect clear. Patience paid off. Lena smirked. Always does. Trent's fall wasn't her hands. It was his, and that made it sweeter. Next day, Ridgeview felt new. Trent was there, but diminished, smaller somehow. Kids avoided him, his old swagger gone. Lena moved through, untouchable now. She'd flipped the script without shouting, without fists. Trent's eyes caught hers once, hollow, defeated. She didn't react, just kept going. He'd pushed too far, and the truth had clawed him down. At home, Dwayne tossed her a soda. "What's next?" he asked. She caught it, grinning. "Enjoying this place, finally." He laughed. "About time." She cracked it open, tension gone. Trent unraveled more each day. His glances grew jittery, his posture slumped. Friends ditched him, laughter faded. Lena saw it all, the bully who'd owned the school, now a shadow grasping at nothing. She'd known he'd crack, she just had to wait. 2 days back, his locker stunt had sealed it. Those screenshots spread like fire, torching his rep. Now he was a cautionary tale. She walked in, feeling the shift. The whispers weren't about her anymore. They were his funeral bells. She'd outlasted him, pure and simple. By week's end, the school couldn't stop talking it. Lena hit the halls, catching hushed giggles, pointed looks toward Trent's locker, still bare, a ghost of his reign. Kids snapped pics then, but now they just stared. He trudged in late, face tight, avoiding everyone. The printouts had gutted him, every slur, every backstab laid bare. Recent too, not old dirt. His mask was off, and no one liked the face underneath. Lena leaned nearby, watching the wreckage. She'd called his bluff, and he'd folded hard. Trent shoved through, eyes red, hands shaky. "Who did this?" he snarled, voice thin, ripping at ghosts of paper long gone. The crowd parted, silent. Lena stayed put, arms crossed. He didn't dare look her way, not yet. His world had flipped, the hunter now prey. Kids he'd ruled glared back, betrayed. Others smirked, relishing it. His buddies were MIA, cutting ties. Lena didn't move, didn't gloat. She'd let him build his pyre, and he'd lit the match. That was her victory. Finally, he turned, spotting her. Rage flared, raw and jagged. "You," he spat, voice trembling, stepping close. "You set this up." Lena tilted her head, calm as stone. "Did I?" His fists balled, chest heaving. "You think you're untouchable now." She stepped forward, voice low, steady. "No, Trent. You're just exposed. Everyone sees you." He froze, fury choking him. She'd dismantled him, not with force, but with his own flaws. He'd lost, and she'd barely tried. The hallway held its breath. Trent's glare burned, pure venom, no trace of the old bravado. "You did this," he hissed again, voice a raw tremble. Lena held steady, unbothered. "Think what you want." His fists shook, itching to strike, but he stalled. Any move now would bury him deeper. She saw it. He was cornered, stripped bare. He wheeled around, storming off, elbowing through gawkers. Lena didn't blink. His crown was dust, and he'd forged the chains himself. She'd just watched him lock them on. That was her win, quiet, clean, and crushing. Afternoon sun blazed as she stepped out. Dwayne lounged by his Mustang, arms crossed, a proud glint in his eyes. She slid in, exhaling long. He didn't start the car, just looked. "Finished?" She nodded. "Yeah." He smirked. "No fists, no mess?" Lena grinned, head back. "None needed." He chuckled, key turning, engine purring alive. They rolled off, Ridgeview shrinking behind. Trent's collapse wasn't her blow. It was his own venom, turned inward. She'd played it smart, let truth gut him. Now she was free. Houston's streets stretched wide, the ride smooth. Dwayne glanced over. "So, what's the plan?" Lena thought, weeks of tension, of outmaneuvering Trent, of finding her footing. She'd changed, grown steel under the calm. "Enjoy high school," she said, smirking. He laughed, loud and warm. "Damn right, kid." The pressure that had clung to her chest since day one lifted, air rushing in. She'd won, not with noise or muscle, but with patience, letting Trent's own flaws topple him. That was power, real and hers. Trent was a fading echo now, a warning carved in locker scraps. Bullies like him thrived on dread, but it never held. Lena knew that from the start. She'd been the quiet one, the shadow he'd misjudged, and that's what undid him. His fall was loud, her rise silent. Dwayne shot her a look, grinning. "You're tougher than you let on." She shrugged. "Maybe." He shook his head, amused. The road hummed under them, Houston's skyline ahead. She'd claimed her space, and it felt good. As they sped on, Lena let the victory settle. Trent's reign, built on shaky fear, had crumbled fast. She'd seen through it, waited, watched, won. The quiet ones, she thought, they're the real threat. He'd never get that. Ridgeview was hers now, not his. Dwayne's voice cut in low. "Proud of you, kid." She smiled, small but real. The story was done, his downfall, her beginning. And she'd write the next chapter her way, no apologies, no looking back. Lena Harper's clash with Trent Dawson at Ridgeview High, a sprawling Houston campus 10 miles from downtown, unfolds like a Texas thunderstorm. Slow building, then electrifying. A 15-year-old freshman, she steps off the bus into a world ruled by a senior bully, all 6 feet of swagger and malice. Trent thinks she's prey, a 100-pound nobody to crush under his sneaker. But Lena's got a secret, a 300-horsepower Mustang and Dwayne, the Rock, Johnson waiting in the wings. She doesn't flinch when Trent trashes her locker, scrawling hate across its steel face, or when his goon trips her, her tray skidding 5 feet across the cafeteria. She waits, patient as a rattlesnake, letting him dig his grave. Then it hits, his locker plastered with screenshots, every vile word he spewed exposed, a 50-yard fall from grace. First lesson, real power isn't loud, it's quiet, sharp, and strikes when least expected. Lena never swings, she lets Trent's own venom, spilling across those 8.5 by 11 pages, gut him. His kingdom crumbles, 200 students watching as he storms off, a king no more. Second lesson, bullies thrive on fear, but strip that away, and they're just shadows, hollow, fragile, gone in a 60-second unraveling. Trent's reign, built on intimidation, collapses when Lena denies him the reaction he craves, her calm stare cutting deeper than any fist. By the end, she's cruising Houston's streets, Dwayne at the wheel, the city's 90-degree heat fading behind her. She's won, not with noise but with steel resolve. Trent's a cautionary tale now, a faded jock in a 500-student school, while Lena, small, steady, unbreakable, claims her place. Power and patience, that's the American grit that turns the hunted into the hunter. Ever faced a bully like Trent, who thought they owned the world? How would you flip the script like Lena did, quietly outsmarting them with 0 punches thrown? Drop your stories below. Hit that like button if you'd outweigh a jerk too, and subscribe for more epic tales of grit and payback. Let's unpack power moves that win every time. Your thoughts could inspire the next vid.